getting things started at the 9 o'clock position on Shattered Temple. We have Rain SLush spawning as our red Zerg player. His opponent, who has won 2 games in a row for compLexity, is Mr. Cruncher spawning as our blue Protoss.
Indeed, now it's going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. I love ZVP. ZVP is one of the most interesting matchups to me. And one of the reasons, of course, I'm a Zerg player. What race do you play, Cats? You play Protoss, right? Or Terran?
Okay,
no,
okay.
Terran.
I played Terran when I was a really active player and when I got myself to Diamond Pre-Masters patch and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think I have been toying around and playing with Protoss this season, and I think that's what I'm going to stick with here.
Oh.
So I'm switching things up, if only to develop the casting knowledge a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's always good to play all the races, at least a little bit. I'm definitely guilty. I play Zerg almost exclusively. So, yeah, guilty as charged.
No,
I should play Protoss and Terran a little bit more. But
you're a good player, man. You're a solid Masters player, so.
I'm going to try to work it a little bit harder at the next event. We'll see. But, yeah, this is going to be a ZVP. Most likely SLush isn't going to go for the 15 hatch. I don't think so. He'll probably go for the pool first, and then we'll get the hatch down. And I think we're going to see a long game because it is cross positions.
Yeah.
By the way, thanks for the compliment, man.
No problem.
I love your beard.
Looking. You can't. That's right. You can't compliment my playing, so
you got to get next to
compliment
each other
the beard.
now.
So yeah.
There you go.
Aw, so good.
All right.
Anyway, so I'm curious to see what Cruncher decides to do because he's the kind of player where he can go into that 3-gate expand build behind sentries, close off the choke point, do everything you would expect a Protoss player to do. But he's also the kind of player he'll cheese you if he knows the time is right.
Yeah. I think both these players are capable of cheesing each other if they know the time is right. We'll see what happens. There's a spawning pool coming up right now with gas for SLush, so he isn't going to get that hatchery down until around 21 supply, until he gets that speed started. And for Cruncher, it's interesting that he didn't go for the expansion down below. A lot of times we'll see Protoss players forge expand on Shattered Temple because it's a safe map to forge expand on. But it looks like Cruncher is going to go for the gate first in the main. So
yeah.
We'll see what direction he rolls with that.
And it looks like he did spot an early extractor. He saw that before the pool was up, so he probably assumed that some sort of a speedling build was coming out, or a super fast speedling build, and I guess he didn't want to expose anything or take any risk at the beginning of the game with that forge expand, although certainly it is viable and people are able to pull it off with pretty good walls.
Yeah.
We do see the second gas coming up for Cruncher now, and back on SLush's side of things, he has his queen coming up, but not quite any intention to make a hatchery yet. He'll be sending out that drone here momentarily, though, and it looks like it's starting to make its way out.
Looks pretty much like we're going to have a 4-gate, or not, what am I saying, 3-gate expand from Cruncher here. It could be a 4-gate, you never know. Protoss can do it. But Cruncher looks like he's gearing up for a 3-gate expo here. On this map, I think it is pretty safe to 3-gate expo on, unlike the previous one where we were watching Xel'Naga Caverns, because this map has a much narrower choke. So you can go down and you can finish the wall off with, not with the gateways obviously because you're building them in the main, but you can finish them off with the forge if you want, with cybernetic score, not cybernetic score, but the forge, pylons, and whatever other buildings and units you get out there. It's a much narrower choke point. So we'll see if that's what he's planning to do.
All right. So, apparently people saying that you're a little bit low as well. So I'll move away from that.
Let me move this mic over here just a little bit.
That'll work. There we go. So we are sharing a mic for the time being. As you guys know, we had a little bit of technical difficulties before, still trying to sort things out completely. But future casts, don't worry about it. We will have things fixed. So sorry about the problems. But Pylon coming out now for Cruncher. He is going to be able to drive those units away. Yeah, Speedling's not going to be able to get in there and do much damage.
Looks like he's going to go for the 1-gate Nexus, actually. No, there we go. There's the second gateway inside the main, and the third gateway inside the main as well. And a 4th gate.
Oh, he's hinting at the quick expo, and he's 4-gating.
Wow, this is a pretty sneaky play here from Cruncher.
There was that cheese.
Yeah, there's that cheese coming out. These Lings have an opportunity to run in. There's a lot of Lings just waiting down south here. SLush, the thing with SLush here, he's got map control, and he needs to hold on to this for as long as possible because he'll be able to see how many units are being built, and he'll be able to get a little bit of a hint of fishiness because there's no Nexus coming up at the natural. So he's going to be like, why isn't there a Nexus? This Forge isn't going to phase SLush if he's privy to the fact that there's no Nexus coming up And I think SLush will be prepared for this 4-gate, but Cruncher is getting really sneaky, man.
Yeah, and SLush is actually droning up behind this, so it's not like he's committed to any sort of like a Baneling Boss stall-in or anything like that. Not going to be the case, so he is going to be in a fine position because even if he had brought a million lings right now, he wasn't going to be able to break through and do a ton of damage right away getting through this choke point until a natural is actually down. So I like the way he's approaching this. He's just making him scared a little bit. Gonna try and make his way in. Oh, but that Zealot is on hold position. Those sentries will come back. Oh, this was actually pretty cool because...
Oh, did he see the 4-gate with that Overlord?
Oh, let's actually take a look at the vision here in just a second. Once these Zerglings leave, they do manage to take out the Pylon and the Photon Cannon. There are a couple of force fields go down. Oh, but it's going to expose so many of those sentries. Oh, but it looks like they are powerful enough to take all those out. Man, those must have been all low health.
So did he see that 4-gate? That's what I'm really interested to know. No, he didn't see the 4 warp gates in the background. It's actually, I believe, 5 warp gates right now in total for Cruncher. And notice Cruncher the whole time, he only built a very small amount of sentries, so it didn't look like a 4-gate at all. He's been saving his warp gate cycles to produce units, and here comes the 5-gate, very, very late 5-gate. However, I don't know if SLush is prepared for this. The Ling will come across the map. It will see the sentries. And this is going to be really, really close, man.
And this is actually good. SLush knows that something weird is up.
Yeah,
what
because the
next
Nexus took so long to go down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he has the Spore Crawler and the Spine Crawler at the front because maybe it's DTs, maybe it's something.
Yeah.
Who knows? He just knows that something odd is happening.
Oh, no.
Cruncher's going to make his way in with a bunch of sentries. Already force fielding off the ramp. Going to go right after the Spine Crawler. But the Zerglings, looks like they poke up. Wow, one Zealot goes down for free. And those are actually pretty critical because they are the meat shield for these very low HP sentries.
Yeah, Cruncher here, he's coming in with a very sneaky play. Oh, it looks like a couple Lings will get it and do a little bit of damage, and then SLush decides to fall back. SLush with really good crisis management skills, getting the crawlers up just in the nick of time, getting his Lings out as well, getting that Spore Crawler just in case of Dark Templar, like you mentioned. Will he be able to hold, though? That's a lot of Zealots, Sentries, and Stalkers.
Yeah, the Guardian Shield does go down. His first round of force fields at the previous attack actually weren't all that great, and Cruncher's about to lose his last Zealot here, but he does have enough units. He's going to be able to go after the Spine Crawler, and it does go down. Cruncher is upset at the amount of lag, apparently, so all the other spectators are going to leave here pretty soon, but Cruncher doesn't have much of a meat shield left as SLush is able to commit to a ton of roaches. There we go. The Roach Warren did just finish. He may have a good chance at holding this off, but Cruncher still has a pretty scary force left.
And not to mention he can force field that ramp, so half those roaches are being built inside the main. I would imagine they will not be able to get down the ramp if Cruncher is able to get that force field down. I'm surprised Cruncher isn't continuing to do more damage. He's staying at the front, but he's not being that aggressive, and he's allowing time for SLush to get additional forces out, and those roaches were able to get down the ramp, so it's a little bit more of an even battle now. Those Spine Crawlers in the back, of course, providing that additional firepower that SLush needs, and the Lings getting right up next to the sentries, but I think Cruncher still has too many forces. This is getting down to the wire, man.
Yeah, absolutely he is. And Cruncher, he actually doesn't warp in any high HP and very resilient Zealots.
Oh, man.
It's all Stalkers now to combat these roaches. A good force field does go down. It's going to allow him to take out, 4 or 5 of those roaches.
Yeah.
So a nice little play there, but he's got to start putting on some damage. Like you said, 9 more roaches coming up. SLush could have enough to hold here soon.
And the problem is, SLush, while he's sitting on 2 bases, the longer this goes on, the stronger he becomes. Cruncher is only on 1 base, so the effectiveness of this 5-gate is diminishing over time, and SLush is also getting Glio Reconstitution, which is speed for roaches, and he's getting Burrow, or is that Tunneling Claws?
He does. No, that's just Burrow coming up right now.
Right, okay, so yeah, he's getting at least Burrow and the other upgrade as well. So his roaches are about to get upgrades, and I think Cruncher's window of opportunity may have passed.
And yeah, look at the way these roaches are actually taking out a few of the very, very valuable sentries, but Cruncher, man, he keeps killing every wave of these.
Ramp?
I don't know he would have been able to stop so many reinforcements, and I think he could have taken this game pretty easily, but the supplies have started to equalize. Cruncher was at about a 10 supply advantage going into this initial attack. He does take out the Spine Crawler. That's pretty good, but SLush now reinforcing with a bunch of Lings as well. He's picking off those very expensive sentries. Looks like Cruncher is getting forced back. Oh god, he wasn't attacking there for a long period of time, and those Stalkers are were initially biting the dust, and eventually he warps in enough that SLush is forced to burrow.
Beautiful play by SLush right there. Excuse me. Oh man,
You
I'm
are
getting
excused.
Yes, I'm getting attacked here by the Zerg, crawling up my nasal cavity. The SLush here is doing a great job. He's held off the 5-gate despite the sneaky play from Cruncher, and I love how he kept his calm and cool, man. He went for the Roach Burrow, he went for the Roach Speed, he's killed off the Proxy Pylon as well, and Cruncher has to fall back.
SLush was handling that really well. At the same time, he was using really nice transfusions as well to keep those critical Roaches alive. There was a time when the 4 force fields were sitting up, one Roach came away, and he got in a key transfusion to stop that.
Yeah.
So he's doing a good job mitigating all the damage here. Looks like he is going to make his way down to the 6 o'clock position where he'll need some future reinforcements. You pull up the income tab here to show that SLush is pretty far ahead in economy. That's purely based on, because they have the same number of workers, at least he was a second ago, must be chrono boosting out a few additional ones here. That was because he was on 2 base and with better saturation at the moment. But Cruncher finally expanding now. Man, he's been sitting on this base for so long.
Yeah, I was actually going to point out the fact that SLush really doesn't have more probes than Cruncher, and that's because he was forced to build so many attacking units due to that 5-gate.
Yeah.
So, you know, yes, he has that extra hatchery, but his economic advantage isn't, like, blown out of proportion, right?
Right.
He doesn't have double the drones in terms of probes that Cruncher has. So, SLush isn't super far ahead, but he is ahead. He has map control, he has 2 hatcheries, but Cruncher is going to be able to catch up a little bit because the Protoss can sit so tightly on these 2 bases on Shattered Temple. However, SLush realizing that, attacking through the back, and he may kill off this rock as well, which will give him another avenue to attack that natural.
And that's going to be pretty necessary. And that would be a pretty scary front. If Roach is coming here through front and all of a sudden you see a swarm of Zerglings coming around the back.
Would be disastrous.
Yeah, that would be terrible for Cruncher. But he does have his second base just about to finish. SLush has not gone to his third. Instead, he's actually putting up a Spire, and that is just about to finish.
And he's saving up about close to 1,000 gas now, so he is going to go for that Mutalisk tech switch here, and I think he's going to be able to catch Cruncher pretty much by surprise. However, this is a risky play because he knows there's Stalkers on the map. He knows that Cruncher has been going heavy Stalkers since the beginning of this game.
Right.
And you know, investing into all these Mutalisks is going to mean that he's going to be vulnerable to those Stalkers, but he's banking on the fact that Cruncher has expanded, and if he has, he'll be able to maneuver between the 2 expansions and harass the probe lines pretty easily.
And those first 8 mutas are coming up, so we'll see what damage he can do with those. On the other hand, though, Cruncher, he is getting ready with a pretty defensive position, and I think he's got to think about taking a pretty quick third base as well. He is investing in Robotics Bay Tech. He's got a nice position set up, and doesn't look like he is intent on getting out there. Oh, here we go. We do have that one Roach burrowed, and so that probe was not able to detect that was closed off. He also has, the resources ready for a Nexus, but unfortunately can't drop that down. Just tried to, but that Roach is blocking its progress.
Yeah, so Cruncher should be aware of the fact that the rocks have been broken down. Yes, he has. Building up a very necessary defense here. Really smart and wise play, investing in the future and getting that infrastructure down at the south. But he doesn't have any defense against these Mutalisks, and this could be a problem. All the Stalkers are waiting at the natural, and the probes at the main are going to get absolutely destroyed by these Mutalisks. Look at how many probes are going down from these 7 mutas, and they're just going to have a heyday. Cruncher has to retreat in full, and his probes continue to fall as they retreat. And what is Cruncher doing? He's not bringing his Stalkers up. In fact, those 3 warping Stalkers were blocking additional Stalkers from running up to defend.
Yeah, SLusher just killed SLusher.
I was saying walking
SLusher
Stalker,
and Cruncher.
Stalkers.
Yeah, there you go. SLush was able to kill a lot of units there. White Law indeed. And that's 21 workers killed altogether. That is a huge bonus. And he depowers 2 gates, 3 gates actually at the same time. So you could have not asked for a more successful Mutalisk harassment there. Very nice job by SLush. He establishes his third at the same time and is just pulling farther and farther ahead in this game.
And he didn't lose any Mutalisks either. I mean, he went in there, he did so much damage. Cruncher there, I would have to say, his crisis control management there wasn't on point. He didn't need to warp Stalkers and to block the ramp, first of all. Right. What he should have done immediately as he saw those Mutalisks attacking was warp Stalkers in the main to deal with those Mutalisks. But unfortunately he didn't, and he paid the price with the lives of 21 probes. That sucks. And he may lose more as well, depending how quickly he reacts.
Yep, and 2 more probes went down to the loss of 1 Mutalisk, so Cruncher reacts a little bit quicker.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh. But look at this. It looks like SLush may be thinking about doing an attack through the natural at the same time that he is harassing with those mutas. We have another 7 mutas coming up, and he's going to get to that critical mass here pretty soon, especially without any sort of Stargate Tech or anything like that. No
Yeah.
Phoenix is in the air.
No,
where,
yeah.
he's going to do a ton of damage.
Yeah, Cruncher has no Phoenixes at all, and typically the response from Mutas is Phoenix, but because Cruncher opened up 5-gate, he just doesn't have an investment in Stargate at all. Now here comes the attack from SLush. SLush looking to end the game right here, right now. Does Cruncher have enough forces to hold this off? A great force field right there, and all of his Stalkers coming in from the main to defend, but they are getting bunched up on the ramp. They're not able to do all their damage.
Nice. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Such a good pylon kill.
I know, man. The pylon going down, unpowering all those things, and Cruncher, GG's. Cruncher, GG's to the momentum.